Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Oceans are a continuing on today's video. I know not everyone loves these bookmarks, but they do, they do hold your book open. Let's be honest. You'll never lose your page when you've got these bookmarks in there. We're going for oceans, like I said, but this gorgeous mold by Katie Sue. Oh my gosh. I am so obsessed. Look at these tiny little flip-flops. That's all I honestly bought the mold for. If the flip-flops weren't there, I might not have bought the mold, but I'm obsessed. It's got a little snorkel, beach ball, it's got flippers, sun cream, and all of the yumminess. So we're going to create our oceans in our bookmarks, and then right at the bottom of the bookmarks, we're going to be putting our embellishment. I was toying with the idea of putting in some of the abalone shells. These are for nail art, and I got them from Amazon because look at these, they're stunning. But I did decide not today, not this project, but definitely in the future I will be using more of those. And again, I'm using the Let's Resin Fast Cure Resin. This is a 4-hour demold epoxy resin. Measurable, why can't I say that word? Measurable by weight, 1:1. I did run it through my Resiners bubbleless machine, but this video is not sponsored by Resiners today. All of the colors I'm using are here. Now, again, what colors you use, entirely up to you. I'm just using 3 different shades of blue. The light turquoise all the way through to the dark being the deeper side of the ocean. So if you are doing oceans, any colors you want. I'm also going to be using sand in this project. Now, this is actually play sand for children's sand pits. I got it from Amazon and everything will be linked below. You could, if you wanted to, use your miniature diddy shells. That's also an option as well. Now, I have to say, I know I'm using bookmarks in this video. I know there's people out there that are just not a fan of these because they are really thick. They're about 3 mil thick. Maybe 2 mil. So I get it, when you put these in the book is literally sitting there open, like talking to you. But, they do the job and they are beautiful. And when you custom make or you personalize them, they're even better. And sometimes, no hate to paper bookmarks, but it's a paper book and they get lost. So that's that's my reasoning and I'm sticking to it. I'm just mixing all of my colours in with the resin. I did get a really helpful comment on my last video about that this resin is not usually this thick. So that's good to know in a way. Like, I don't know why it's so thick for me, but I can put it down to maybe the temperature of my room. So I've said it many times before. If your resin is really thick, you might want to just put it in a hot bath, but I didn't worry about it. I am going to be using Yvonne's glitters from Resin Supplies Den. I'm going to link Resin Supplies Den Facebook page in the description box below. Yvonne is the glitter supplier for Resin Supplies Den, and she sent me a huge bundle. This glitter here is called Xena, and it is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. It is exactly the right shade. It matches my sand. It's not just gold glitter either. It's a combination. It's got lots of different colors in there, but it works so beautifully in the sand. And really, this is just to give the sand something special. So when it's all done and finished, that sand is going to really pop. Now, like I said, it was mentioned that this resin is not usually this thick. So if you watch my last video, I did say how thick this resin was. I couldn't believe how thick it was. It was thick even before putting mica powder in. But once I put mica powder in, it did thicken up. Without a doubt, it did thicken up. So I'm putting it down to the temperature in my room. My room is not warm at this point. So the resin is going to be at its thickest. That's every resin. So there is an option to just put part A in a hot bath just to water it down a bit. Now, the reason I didn't do that is because this is a fast cure resin. And what I didn't want to do was heat it up prematurely to the point where it would cure on me. Sometimes with fast cure resins, if you do preheat them to get them down to more of a watery consistency, it can escalate the curing process. So I just didn't bother. I just had fun with the fact that I've got more control because it's such a thick, gloopy resin. Okay, as I said, we're going for the dark blue in the deeper ocean. all the way down to the lighter blue turquoise nearer to the beach. And the beautiful thing about this is I don't want to fill these molds up at this point. I definitely don't. I want to be able to put some vinyl down. I want to be able... George, why now? Sorry about that, guys. He has discovered that people, you know, walk past our house and they're not allowed to. Anyway, I've put my dark blue at the end, the lighter blue in the middle, and then the even lighter blue will go at the other side. Now, like I was saying, I don't want to fill these up at this point. I want to be able to put my vinyl Cricut down, and I want to be able to top coat them. So this was kind of working for me. Now, this resin definitely wasn't naturally flowing. As I mentioned in the last video, it's an amazing resin to work with for control. I think this resin would be ideal for like geodes if you want to be able to pipe some lines with resin. I think this resin would work really, really well. It doesn't naturally flow very fast, but what I decided to do was just grab my lollipop stick and help them collide. And that is going to give me not only the ombre ocean that I'm looking for, but it's also going to give me some gorgeous patterns. I did spend some time afterwards going in with a cocktail stick, kind of swirling it all around and making sure that my patterns stayed in there, you know? And that's what I love about the thickness of this, is that if it was a super runny resin, you know, quite often resin travels to the center of the mold. No matter what mold you're using, whether it's a bookmark, a pendant, a coaster, a massive tray, resin travels to the center of that mold. Whereas, you know, with a thick resin, you've got the luxury of going in after just 10 minutes with a stick and kind of getting the pattern back in, you know, swirling it back in to give you that beautiful, beautiful patterns within the resin. I'm just adding a little bit of clear near the beach. Now, I'm not sure why I did this. I think I didn't want too much detail around the beach area. Like, I wanted clear around the beach area, but it was kind of too late. So I just put a little bit of clear and then I just blended it in with the light blue. If I'm honest, I wanted a gap. I think in my head I wanted a gap. I don't actually know, because I'll tell you what, this is 24 hours later Claire, and that Claire doesn't know what yesterday's Claire was thinking, but here we are all together. This is about 3 hours later. Again, this is a 4-hour cure resin, but this is about 3 hours later when I decided to add some Cricut vinyl. I'm going to be using the Tech Wrap Matte Mint. I really was going to go for white, but I don't know, I saw this one and I was like, actually, that's going to really complement all of the blues and look so much more like less in your face than white vinyl. Like, sometimes the white vinyl can really just be really bright. This is a beautiful color. Again, Tech Wrap Vinyl, I have a code for them. It is down below in the description box. Guys, my description box is packed full, absolutely packed full with codes. Go check it out. I literally have codes for everywhere. That's how it feels right now when I'm doing my description box on every video. I'm like, okay, this is getting out of control. But there are tons of codes down there for you, honestly, with vinyl and molds and shapes and all of that. Now, I'm just pointing here to the escape word. The E and the P on escape are high and low. That meant I couldn't put my word straight across. I could if I made it smaller, but I didn't want to make it smaller, so I've put it at a diagonal. I'm okay with it if you are. For the little embellishments, I've actually decided to use polyurethane resin. Now, this is the Let's Resin 10-minute fast cure polyurethane. It cures white, but that also means we can paint them. It was going to be easier to do it this way because these molds are so intricate. They're so detailed. And the polyurethane resin, at the point of pouring, it's like water. It is literally like water. So I know that that's going to get down into all of the little nooks and crannies, and I just set that aside to do its thing. In the meantime, I kind of ummed and ahed. Do I do a UV resin top coat, or do I do another epoxy resin top coat? I decided to go with UV. Honestly, it's just quick. I think my brain has flipped and I'm loving speed right now. I know I've always loved speed, but lately UV resin has been my best friend. So I've just poured some in there. As I said at the beginning, I didn't want to fill these up completely with the blue and the sand. So now I'm filling them right to the top. A little bit too much to the top, because when do I never overspill? Guys, one day you're going to be shocked. You will literally be drinking on your tea and you're going to choke because something came out perfect. This is about 30 minutes later. I put those I put the bookmarks under the UV light for 10 minutes. I just kept pressing the button, press the button for 10 whole minutes, because that's a lot of UV resin. That's a lot. Now, this is the demold of the polyurethane pieces, and they're so cute. They're so cute. But guys, it is the flip-flops. I don't know what it is about them. They're just adorable. It was the flip-flops that I fell head over heels in love with. I decided to actually colour them in with my Posca paint pens. These are acrylic paint pens. They're beautiful. They work a dream on this. And I decided to just colour them in with this using the brightest summery. Like, if I had a pair of flip-flops, what colour would I want them to be? Like, bright pink and bright orange, because they go so well together. How? I just can't get over how cute these are. I think I've been converted to this like miniature world of just miniatures. Here you can see me using my micro brush. So my orange Posca pen blobbed. You can see my finger, I'm covered. It literally blobbed off the side. So I quickly had to grab my micro brush to A, soak some of that up, but B, finish off the painting. And here are the bookmarks on Demold. I love them. I love the way the blues have interacted. That is because I went in after 10 minutes and I swirled all of the blues around with a cocktail stick. I've got tons of overspill on the Escape. The Escape is the worst one. Relax is the most neatest, so there's not much to do here. But I am going to grab my deburring tool and just go along the sides of the bookmarks just to get off any of that UV resin overspill. And honestly, it was so easy. It is so easy. However, Escape has got tons of overspill, so it's going to take a little bit more work and a little bit more than just a couple of swipes with the deburring tool. So do bear that in mind if you get tons of overspill like me. I will also add, these did curl up under the UV light. They did curl up. I had to pin them down with some tape onto the wooden board, tape straight across onto the wooden board to keep them flat, because under the UV light they literally curled right up. All I have to do now is get a little dab of super glue on the back of my polyurethane embellishments and stick them down. And honestly, I played around with the ball, I played around with the flippers, but it's these that grabbed my heart. I love the flip-flops. I cannot get enough of them. I've decided I'm going to make all of them just have flip-flops on, because I just couldn't get my head around using anything else for these. I will at some point, I'm sure in the future, use the rest of the mold. But for these here today, flip-flops. Look at the overspill. I still haven't fixed it, guys. Still haven't fixed it. But yes, I ran out of time, no surprises there, but imagine all three of these with flip-flops at the bottom and a tassel at the top. You have a gorgeous ocean bookmark. I'm loving the glitter in the sand. That glitter again is from Yvonne over at Resin Supplies Den. That glitter brings the sand to life. I just feel like without that, there'd still be oceans, wouldn't they? There'd still be oceans. I decided not to do white ocean waves. I just wanted them real simple, with the vinyl wording being, you know, the kind of feature, if you like. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have made ocean bookmarks before. And remember, even though I'm doing this in bookmarks, you could do it in anything, like trinket trays, huge trays, pendants, you name it, you could do it. So just because you see me doing bookmarks, it doesn't mean that you need this mold. It definitely doesn't mean you need to go buy this mold, and it definitely doesn't mean that you can't recreate this in a mold that you already have. So that is the beauty of this. I hope you've loved it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.